I saw heaven once. The throne room stretched beyond sight, pillars so tall they vanished into living light. They shimmered like sapphire flames, breathing with motion and color. My uncles were there, whole, laughing. They said, "We want to show you our favorite thing in heaven." Then I saw it, a wave. Not air, not water, both. Liquid sapphire, alive with stars and rainbow fire. People were riding it, gliding through light with joy uncontainable. And I heard him whisper, "Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." Matthew 6:10. I realized those waves don't stay in heaven. They move toward earth, and those who yield become wave riders of his spirit, catching what flows from his throne and pouring it into weary places below. Sapphires are anisotrophic stones. When pure light enters them, it bends, wrestles, refracts, and emerges as rainbows. Heaven refracted through resistance. The hottest part of any flame isn't red, it's blue, the purest burn. Blue fire refines without smoke. It consumes in purity, not identity. Under his feet was something like a pavement made of sapphire, Exodus 24:10. Above the vault was a throne that looked like sapphire, Ezekiel 1:26. And for our God is a consuming fire, Hebrews 12:29. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, Hebrews 10:31. Water and fire, opposites on earth, are one in his presence, because his spirit is both river and flame. In Numbers 15:38, God told his people to weave a blue thread into their tassels, a daily reminder of his covenant, commands, and love that covers. The dye for that thread, tikkahalet, came from the Murex trunculus, a sea snail that lives deep beneath the surface of the Mediterranean. Extracting its color took patience and courage. Divers had to plunge into darkness to find what would one day shine like heaven. When exposed to light, the dye turned from purple to radiant blue, the color of revelation, obedience, and remembrance. That same creature appeared in one of my earlier reflections on Substack. Even my standing belongs to him. The snail carrying its spiraled story of endurance. How fitting that God would use both the slowest creature and the deepest depths to dye the reminder of his faithfulness. The tekhelet thread and the snail shell both preach the same truth. What's slow, hidden, or overlooked often holds the richest revelation. So when you see the color blue in the sky, in the waves, in your own weary eyes, remember, you wear heaven's covenant. You carry the reminder. And even when the world shakes, the thread of his faithfulness still holds you together. Even Peter faltered. When Peter came to Antioch, I opposed him to his face because he feared those of the circumcision. Galatians 2:11-13. The sapphire flame doesn't just comfort, it confronts. It burns away the fear of man and refines integrity. It's not humiliation, it's purification. Peter's story reminds us even the boldest can bend under the weight of opinion. But the refiner's fire is mercy in disguise. It exposes mixture, not shame, but to restore truth. Conviction isn't condemnation, it's calibration. It's the Spirit whispering, "Come back to center." Just as sapphire deepens its blue in fire, so our hearts take on heaven's hue in surrender. The flame reveals what fear concealed. the parts of us that crave approval more than obedience. And still, Jesus restores us by the same fire that refines us. By another fire on the shore, Jesus restored him, 3 denials burned away by 3 confessions of love. He doesn't discard the impure, he purifies the precious. Scientifically, blue fire burns hotter than any other color. Its temperature reaching over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, the purest combustion known. Spiritually, that's the place where truth burns brightest, where every false identity and half-truth is consumed, and what remains glows with the integrity of Christ. So when you feel the heat of conviction, remember, you're not being destroyed, you're being defined. The sapphire flame is heaven's invitation to stand firm, even when the world wavers. John saw a rainbow circling the throne and a sea of glass clear as crystal, Revelation 4:3-6. Ezekiel saw the same, sapphire above, fire below, glory in motion. Glory doesn't sit still, it ripples. Heaven isn't static, it's alive. Light moves like water, color sings like sound, every hue is a frequency of his glory. The Spirit flows in waves, not straight lines, and those who move with him become conduits of color, carrying mercy where despair once lived. Faith doesn't always feel like floating. Sometimes it feels like falling through water, but when you're not drowning, you're being baptized in glory. Deep calls to deep at the roar of your waterfalls. All your waves and breakers have swept over me, Psalms 42:7. Sapphires are born through fire, diamonds shine under pressure, but the rarest treasures, hearts that reflect heaven's light, are formed in breaking. It's the breaking that makes you luminous. Then I shared a picture. Being neurodivergent with trauma while raising neurodivergent teens is like reaching the final boss. But the floor's lava, you're out of mushrooms, and someone just unplugged your controller. That's what the fire feels like from inside it. The refining isn't poetic when you're in the middle of meltdown and mercy. But even there, in the chaos, the exhaustion, the unglamorous survival, you're still inside the sapphire flame. You're still riding the wave heaven sent. Grace meets you where your hands shake. Heaven's rhythm moves even when your heart can't keep tempo. You're not failing. You're being formed. The rainbow around his throne is covenant, mercy in motion. The dove, Yonah, is peace returning after the storm. Even Jonah's rebellion became a classroom for compassion. If God can turn a whale into mercy's vessel, he can turn your chaos into grace. Nothing is delayed. Nothing is denied. Everything unfolds in his rhythm. This is your Issachar season. A time to discern heaven's timing, to rest in its tides. Laugh. Stay glad, rejoice. Your laughter is spiritual warfare. It confuses the enemy and heals your soul. Joy isn't naive, it's prophetic. Your worth has never been measured by productivity. It was spoken by the one who knit you together and called you before you ever did a single thing. Even when you feel emptied out, he whispers, "You were mine." And your soul replies, "Thank you, Lord. I love you too." Because love is still worship, even when it sounds like a whisper. Heaven is still moving, and so are you. Every breath you take in faith sends ripples through eternity. You are his prism, refracting his light into weary places. You are his sapphire heart, refined, radiant, and real. And if all you can do is hold the hem of his garment, you're still touching Jesus. You're still riding his wave. He believed you were worth fighting and dying for, and he still does.